Russ and I left Portland at around 5 a.m. on Friday to head out to Vantage, Washington, or an area near there, to meet our friend Chris, who would take us on to North Bend to start the tour. The weather was pretty variable on the way out there, as you can see. So we really weren't sure what we would face when we started the ride back on the west side of the Cascades in North Bend. Once we got packed up and on the bikes, we almost immediately got held down by a rainstorm for about 20 minutes at a restroom just outside the campground. In the section that we started, there's a variety of surfaces. Mostly it's pretty good gravel. There's tons of stuff to see. There's tunnels that are the trail's famous for, but then also these trestles and some other great mountain views. Generally, the riding was really good on the first day. We did eventually start to get really wet as we were getting ready to set camp, but the views and everything else more than made up for it, and no one had any mechanicals, so it was a good start for the tour. We stopped frequently along the route to change out gear a little bit, readjust loads, and take lots of pictures. Despite the sogginess of the day, it was just really beautiful. And since we hadn't had to sleep in the rain yet, everyone's spirits were high. Our first night's camp was right across the trail from a beautiful lake. And as you can see, the morning was very wet, and it took us all the way until the afternoon to dry out. We lucked out, and the really nasty weather ended right near a really good barbecue place, and so we had lunch and dried out there. Chris was up first and eating breakfast. Day started out pretty rough. Russ had some mechanical issues with his rack, and we were all really wet. Second day was marked with more tunnels and improving weather along the way. I'd have to say that generally speaking, the riding was probably the best on the first day as far as the surface. The second day ended better than it started, but it was pretty rough for a while, and we'll get to the third day in a moment. On the second day, we made pretty good time. We had a good following wind, and like I said, the surface was pretty good, so we were able to keep things moving along. Got to stop off at a fruit stand just outside of Ellensburg to get some fresh snacks. Riding into this wind would have been really rough. So we were again very fortunate to have a tailwind all the way into Ellensburg and for most of the next day as well. We decided to camp at the KOA in Ellensburg. Chris and Russ elected for a hotel there. KOA was comfortable right along the river and relatively quiet. We took a spot out towards the end, quite a ways from the RVs and other noisy things. We ate a lot and drank a bit. the night there in Ellensburg. We had a fairly average start on the third and final day. Russ decided to sit it out, so we rearranged our gear so that we would have lighter traveling capabilities, which was a really good thing because the terrain on the third day turned far, far, far to the worse. Most of the route is graded for a railroad, so it's relatively easy to climb. But there's a couple go-arounds that we hit on the third day that were really, really steep and rough. Lots of sand, very little water, tons of wind. This route, or this part of the route east of Ellensburg, for my money would be appropriate for maybe a full suspension mountain bike outfitted tour, but ideally a fat bike. The rigid touring rigs that we all had just really had a lot of trouble in the sand. It's hot and hard to keep moving. Again, we did have the tailwind, and if we hadn't, I don't even know if we would have made it. So definitely recommending this route. Overall, it's really beautiful. Just make sure you're prepared and have the right gear. Finally, we popped out on the Columbia River, just down the way from Vantage, headed back with the gang to North Bend to drop them off, and then Russ and I came on home to Portland. The last day of riding, I should note, was 7 hours and only 38 miles. So if you do this route, be prepared for a really hard section east of Ellensburg.